Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday and welcome to our Stitch and Crime Book Club. I think this is what is this, our third or fourth meeting? I'm not even really sure. This is what we do on Tuesday nights and talking about our book. Hey, Trucker Steve. How you doing? And Diamond Girl is also here. She's working on her red cowl. That's awesome. Glenda Bathgate, good to see you. She's in Edinburgh and it's 1 a.m. and you're choosing to spend time with me. I am so thankful. Hello to you. Hello. Are you having some tea, Glenda? I am having coffee in my Colorado Starbucks cup. I still have not got myself a Texas cup yet, but I'm drinking, and it is black coffee. Tonight's blend is a little bit of community coffee in vanilla, and the other half is breakfast blend, but community coffee from Louisiana that my daughter Chelsea sent me. Hello, Crafty Annie is here. Kathy G, good to see you. Okay, you're working on a scarf to go with that hat. I will have to check that out. Oh, and hubby is snoring. I'll try not to holler. Oh, was there a Susan? What's Susan? Hey, Susan's here. Good to see you, Susan. Look at you making 2 lives. That's amazing. Freaky Geek. Uh-oh. Watch out. Freaky Geek is here. Hello. Can everyone hear me all right? I hope I checked and made sure that my microphone was on. And did you see what I'm wearing? You can't really see it all that good. I'm going to turn this overhead light off. There you go. How about that? I had a hat custom made for me, and I have left a link down below where you can get a custom hat if you would like one embroidered with your channel or your name or whatever you would like to have put on it. Like Freaky Geek would look really good on there. Get it in teal. Lorna, good to see you. Glad you're here. Yeah, we haven't seen Freaky in a while. I'm glad you're here tonight. Didn't it turn out good? And she was wonderful. She messaged me. I had picked a teal hat with white lettering, and I had a specific lettering that I wanted to use. And she contacted me and she says, I do not have any of the teal hats. She says, I have a white one and I have a great teal color for the lettering. And I said, okay. And she said, now I don't have that specific font, but she said, I have one that looks really, really close. So she had actually kind of looked at the fonts and all that and decided exactly which one would look closest. And I said, that sounds good to me. So she was great to work with. So I have left her link down below. It's called School Spirit Apparel, I believe. I just thought that was a good idea, right? Yeah, that's it. Oh, you're gonna bring in the levity tonight. I love it, Freaky Geek. This is a pretty relaxed crowd here on Tuesdays. Just so you guys know, we're pretty relaxed. Kick back with our coffee and our projects and talk about crime. Of course, that's what I do here anyway. I may leave that light off, you guys, because it's a little warmer with this hat on. I like that better. Don't you like that better? Now let's see if you can see the project that I'm working on. Oh, well. Okay, I have to share my screen, don't I? There we go. There is my screen. Here is my coffee again. Our mat for coffee tonight is What's the Rush? And I love it because he's wearing his teal sweater. And then I wanted to show you guys that I finished the knit dishcloth, and I have left a link for this down below, but this is the Crazy Eights dishcloth. It turned out great. Has anybody ever made these? Nope, you can cut your tea, beer, whatever you got. Come on in. Alicia B is here. Yay. I figured you was snoozing. So I really like how this one turned out. This was my something in red for last week. And the first, and then I made another one. Made another one in scraps. And y'all know I love this color too, of course. Because if it's teal, it's Jill, right? And I'm also making a crochet washcloth with these colors too. It does look a little like a starfish, doesn't it? So yes, I love the way this feels, and this is an addictive one to do. So, okay. And I'm still working on my something in red. She was moderating. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Alicia B is a fantastic moderator, and that is why she is in demand over on a couple other channels as well. So thank you, my friend, for coming over when you got done. Be sure and take a break, get what you need, get your coffee and all that you need before you get started. It's absolutely fine. Pretty laid back again tonight. Just as a reminder of the book that we are doing, if you don't already know, we are reading Murder Investigation Team, How Scotland Yard Really Catches Killers by former Detective Inspector Stephen Keogh. And we are on the chapter, the crime scene chapter. And this right now, we're going to talk about fibers and footmarks today, is what we're talking about. So I'm taking this fairly easy and not pressing us to get it done really fast because why not? Why not take it easy? That's my motto. If you can take it easy, why not? So I'm wondering if you guys can remember what the Lacard's principle of exchange is. Does anybody remember that? The Lacard's principle of exchange. Do you guys remember what it is? Anybody? I got to turn on my air if I'm going to wear this hat. We are cooling down here, except it's a little muggy this time of the night, as this house has it's an older house and has a lot of concrete, and it holds on to its heat and then it expels it along with what's in the ground at the end of the day. There it is. Yes. Every encounter leaves a trace. Thank you, Alicia B. That too. That is true, especially when it comes to fibers. Okay, so fibers are usually lifted with tape. So I thought it was funny because in the book, Stephen says something about it's like getting your legs waxed. Anybody ever had their legs waxed, Freaky? Have you had your legs waxed? I know you have at some point in your life, right? I don't know if Steve has. What about you, Steve? He said, just like having your legs waxed, the tape goes on and then they pull it off and they get the fibers. And I also know that there is a fancy vacuum that they use to do this, to pull up and get things that might be left behind. And it makes me wonder if they use that at all for fibers. Steve says, hell no. Oh, gosh. Freaky didn't either. Okay. I had to ask. You didn't have to answer, but I did have to ask. Yes, waxing your underarms is not fun either. It really isn't. It lasts a while, but yeah, it's not fun. Only thankfully. Okay. So here's where Stephen was talking. Oh, and by the way, you guys, I'm still using my naughty knitting bag for my project. This is the one that says this on the inside. For those of you, I'm not going to say it out loud. I love the teal flowers. You know that's why I like it, right? Because of the teal flowers. Okay. The fact that we can leave fibers no matter where we go and we pick fibers up reinforces the need for full barrier clothing. And the fact that things can definitely get cross-contaminated. So you definitely have to wear the full barrier. It really reinforces that. One of the cases that Stephen talked about as related to fibers is the one with Ted Bundy. And it was a young 12-year-old girl that they actually were able to get Ted Bundy for because of fibers that were left in his car. And that reminded me of a case that I remember in the US here, and it was the one where it was an older couple and they went missing. Their family, their son and their other family members had not been able to get a hold of them. They went to their house, they could not find them. They went looking to see if maybe they had gone somewhere because they also could not find their vehicle. So within about 2 or 3 days, they found the couple and they found them in their vehicle, and they found the vehicle parked somewhere. And they were duct taped and all of that stuff and shot. The way that they caught the person was because the couple had fibers on them, actually on their persons in the vehicle. And the fibers that were on them were older fibers. They were like a red color fiber. And they knew that it was an older color that was used for possibly the type of fibers that were used in like an indoor outdoor carpet or something like that. So they figured it must be something that was used in a car. And so they started looking for cars um, that had that used, that came out with the red carpet, and they narrowed it down to makes and models of cars, started looking for those. And this guy was stopped in a traffic stop, and they were able to trace fibers that were on him to the fibers that were on the couple. They were taped up because he took them to the bank and had them withdraw money. And at that time, they did not have cameras on the ATMs, so they could not get him through a picture or a camera that way, but they traced it down to the fibers. I think Ted was executed. Yes, there was. I've watched several interviews recently about um, like him playing with people's minds, and the final interviews that Ted Bundy had with a couple of people, like the preacher that he had. If you guys haven't seen that interview with the preacher, it's really telling about personalities and facial expressions and all of those things. It's really something. Hello, Sylvia. Glad you are here. Someone else came in that I may have missed, I think. Oh, Tammy, good to see you. Glad you're here. If you have any questions for me, try to hold it towards the end, and I will answer them then. So, fibers, it's amazing, and I know that there are several cases out there from debris, things that they have found, debris also, like things that were left on car tires, things that were left. I mean, they have found evidence from so many different ways, minute things that can really be helpful in an investigation, really helpful. Okay, now that brings us to footmarks. Now, Stephen says footmarks as opposed to footprints. Does anybody know why he says footmarks instead of footprints? Can y'all put it in the chat if you know the answer to that one? Anybody? Hello, Barbara. Hope you feel better. Does anybody know why he says footmarks as opposed to footprints? Because he's British? That is part of it. He did say early on in the book, when we were reading the earlier part of the book, he said that the actual bottom of the foot is the print. The mark that the foot leaves is the foot mark. So this would be your, it's just a little bit different. I think he also called them finger marks too, if I'm not mistaken, that they could leave a mark, but like a finger mark. And you've got hand, we talked about it, we have hand marks and things like that. It's true of the foot. So the entire length of the foot, the edge of the foot and everything else, you do not want my foot up here, just saying. And all of that stuff is still viable as a mark. Do you guys know what the most common footmark is? I think that's true. I don't know that that's why they call it that, but that I think that is definitely true because they don't always have the whole thing. Yeah, he does use different British words though. He does. Nobody. So the easiest footprint, excuse me, the easiest foot mark to see and find is the ones that is left in blood. And since the scene is so easily contaminated, that when they get there, they set up a common approach. So that common approach would be the way that everyone walks in and out of a crime scene on that same approach so that they're not all over the scene. And they will even use stepping plates. So they put down some plates and then everybody, like almost like stepping stones, and that everybody steps on those stepping plates. Do y'all know some of the ways in which they collect the footmarks? Yep. You don't want me to throw my shoe at you, do you? I don't have any shoes on right now, Freaky, but you really don't want to see my foot. Nobody needs to see my foot. I know. I love the way they talk. Yeah. Depends on how they're made. Mhm. Yes, they do. They use plaster when it's in mud. They also do that in snow, things like that. They do that for tire marks too. So photographs, whatever they can see, they photograph. They do a cast for anything that has an indentation. So what I did not realize is they might also do that at a crime scene. If there's a indentation, they use certain things to get those indentations to measure that at a crime scene indoors as well. Um, and some of the things that they are able to figure out are which shoe, what kind of tread is on the shoe. Those are the things that they can figure out. And the reason that I know a little bit about this is because I watched a video and I'm going to show you a piece of it. And it's from the Pike County massacre case that I am covering on Friday nights on Stitch and Crime. There is an expert named William Bodzniak, and he has been talking about, in that he was talking about the foot marks that were left by them at the crime scene for that one. And let me remove that for a second. And I'm going to show you. Here is a quick little newscast talking about this with this case. that I thought you guys might enjoy. Let me play that for you.
There are several ways crime scene investigators can collect shoe impressions, but their best results come from when those analyzing those impressions can work directly with the evidence. And that's what witnesses say happened here. Jurors' eyes were glued to the latest witness to testify in George Wagner IV's murder trial as she opened large pizza boxes. Inside, pieces of flooring cut from one of the Pike County crime scenes. The trailer on Union Hill Road where Chris Roden Sr. and Gary Roden were murdered. Suzanne Elliott with the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation asked not to be recorded as she testified about the impressions she analyzed. She said these impressions that have since been enhanced were not in the crime lab's shoe database. So, I actually went to the shoe stores looking for shoes, she said. No matches at any chains. Finally, it dawned on me. Let's go to Walmart, she said. While at Walmart, Elliott said she found a $15 pair of Athletic Work sneakers. It was an aha moment. There's the shoe, Elliott told the jury. Elliott said she compared several sizes to the markings left on the crime scene floor. I determined that came from a size 11 shoes, she said. But then, this toe impression is a size 10 and a half. Elliott determined they were not from the same shoe because both impressions were from left feet. That places two different people at the crime scene where Chris Sr. and Gary Roden were killed. Elliott says she was able to rule out that the impressions came from either victim or two family members who entered the crime scene that day. She did not present any evidence directly connecting George Wagner to the impressions. But Elliott is not done testifying. For an undisclosed reason, the judge sent the jurors home early today around lunchtime. They are told that to be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Okay, now this is the shoe impression specialist. His name is William Bodzniak. And this guy has some really, really great credentials. Really great. And I wanted to show you a quick little video talking about the way that he did his research. He did a whole lot of research on in his time, and he's testified all over the world.
And is this practice used worldwide?
Yes, the same methodology, the same method of using overlays and making them the same procedure you would go through is standard throughout the world.
I think at this time I'm going to play the video or have us play the video so that this can kind of be demonstrated. Okay, that might be why.
I'm going to stop it till you tell me to start.
Okay. First of all, can you tell us what this video is?
This is a video that I made a number of years ago. Since I've gone to many manufacturing facilities and texture is so important in footwear exams. And we had a scientific working group known as SWGTREAD, SWGTREAD. And we share all this information at meetings and on the SWGTREAD website. And I decided to use my iMovie Apple computer technology and make an amateur film, but one that was valuable to show how texture is produced and how it's utilized in casework. This is on what's now called treadforensics.com. and it's been presented at the International Association for Identification, and it's one we use also in classes that I teach or that I and my colleagues teach in the advanced class.
And who are you videoing in this?
The video of the texture processes is from a factory in Asia that was provided to me. And the video of the individual examples of texture, wear, and so forth are from slides that they're not video, they're just photographs that I produced from training materials.
Okay, if you can go ahead and start it.
Texture is broadly defined as a shallow pattern sometimes found on selective surfaces of a footwear outsole. Adding texture to a mold is a separate process after the overall design of the mold has been produced. In this example, the highlighted areas in yellow were originally smooth and without design. The texture was added later. That texture will be transferred to the outsole during the molding process. There are two predominant methods of adding texture to a mold surface. One of those, shown here, involves mechanically striking a pattern into the surface using a steel die or similar tool. This is known as hand stippling. A second method, so we had arranged to show a couple of this, to repeat this. So some of this is so quick that I need to show it a couple times and explain it. So in this video,
I'm going to skip some parts, you guys.
There are two predominant methods of adding texture to a mold surface. One of those, shown here, involves mechanically striking a pattern into the surface using a steel die or similar tool. This is known as hand stippling. A second method involves a process known as, so should I proceed or should I stop it here for a second? I think that was viewable?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. So the second method is chemical acid etch. Chemical acid etching that involves transferring a pattern on paper to the mold surface and then subjecting the mold to an acid bath. This close-up of the same small area of 3 outsoles shows examples of both hand stippling, indicated by the red arrows, and chemical acid etch texturing, indicated by the green arrows. The difference between the positioning and features of both the hand stippled and acid etch texture patterns on each of these shoes is apparent.
So I don't want to play the whole thing. I don't want to bore y'all. But I wanted to tell you that is interesting to me, that they send those over to overseas and they make the molds, and then the molds get used in the production here. Well, that means there are, and then he goes into detail about how many molds there are, how many different types of shoes, how, that the companies use certain molds that are on shoes that are more popular, but they don't, and they the same mold is used, say if they use that to sell to make a Nike shoe, they certainly sell those, distribute them to different places, right? But all of those that came out with that mold are all going to go out to all of those places because that's what they used. And that's what they talked about in the case, was how they use that information to come to how those shoes were the ones that were used at the scene. So, because his is a standard. He has a complete standard on finding out what shoes it is. So I thought that I thought was very interesting, right? I hoped you guys would find it interesting and not boring. I thought I watched that whole thing. If anybody wants to know, I can try to leave a link. I don't think I left a link for that video down below for you guys, but I can try to remember to do that. So, yeah. Very interesting when it comes to footmarks. So you've got a foot leaves an impression without the shoe, a foot leaves an impression with the shoe. And like in the Pike County massacre, they determined that there were two different people at the scene. They actually determined there were three. But with footmarks, they found footmarks of at least 2, and they found the size 10 and size 11 shoe footmarks. And Angela, the mother, bought those shoes. So if you don't know the case I'm talking about, you can come over on Friday nights and follow along with us. And they determined which shoes it was, and to go to Walmart and to get those shoes. So, and they found out that it came out during the case, during the trial, that they determined one person was standing in a certain place and one person was standing in another. And they determined that by the types, those 2 sizes of shoes. And then when one of the witnesses gave his testimony, he said that this person stood here and this person stood here. So, and they had switched shoes. One would normally wear an 11 and they wore the 10, and one would normally wear the 10 and they wore the 11. The 2 guys switched shoes. So, interesting, right? I watched that whole thing. What a nerd am I to watch Footmark Expert. I'm a crime nerd for sure. You guys have anything to add? You guys got quiet on me over there. And Cerberus is snoring. Cerberus is snoring. I'm not having trouble breathing, that Cerberus. It's probably going to start barking in a minute. Nerd away? Okay. Can you guys think of cases where they have used footmarks to... One of the ones that I remember, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the Menendez brothers one of those cases where they used footprints to figure out what they had done? I'm thinking it was. Yes, the wear marks is another good example. Yes. Because say someone has had that same pair of shoes for a while, that everybody has a certain way they walk, and there's wear on that shoe, and they can tell that that's got to belong to that person and that shoe because of the wear marks being the same as the wear marks that are on... was it OJ I'm thinking of? It might be. Yep. Hello, Sandy. Good to see you. Hello, Mary. I appreciate that. I knew there was a famous case with footmarks in blood, right? That they walked through the blood and they figured out what they had done based on that. Probably more than one. It might be the OJ one. That might be what I'm thinking of. And what about fibers? Can you guys think of ones that had fibers? Anybody? The forensic. I want to say the case that I was talking about was one from Forensic Files, but don't quote me on that. I know that I have seen that case somewhere. Trying to blank on fibers? Okay. That's all right. Steve's got one about Colonel Russ Williams in Trenton, Ontario. They found him by the tire tracks his vehicle made in the field next to one of his victims. Yes. Yeah. During the OJ, there was a shoe print that was similar to the size of OJ's foot. Yes, good job, Steve. Thank you. Now, you guys, I do want to remind you that we are going to be talking nutrition again on Thursday, if you would like to join us for that. And if any of you are wanting to dig deeper into the whole food plant-based lifestyle, just send me an email and I will hook you up. So my email, it just came up. Nightbot just posted it. Here it is right here if you would like to know more about that. Was that the infamous ugly Bruno Magel shoes? An amazing case that detective interrogation used to train other people now. Interesting. Did you say the name? Russ Williams in Trenton, Ontario. I'm going to have to look that up. Russ Williams. Steve knows his cases, you guys. I've never heard of that brand of shoe, so I don't know it. Been watching Forensics and Atlanta Homicide. Okay, what's everybody else watching? Has anybody been watching the Piketown massacre trial? Jake has testified, but he chose not to be taped and he chose not to be videoed. So we do not know exactly at the moment what has been said other than what reporters are saying. So you have to look it up in the newspapers and online, which I've been trying to keep that up with. I have missed that today. I was busy doing some other stuff. Been watching clips of it. Oh, they're high-end Italian shoes. Ah, I've never heard of those. Rain? Where's it raining at? Are you still in Texas? Man, we had some rain last night. I was coming home from my daughter Carrie's and I came through a rainstorm, you guys. Came through the rainstorm to get home. There was quite a bit of rain and there was a lot of wind on the backside. So I'm just trucking along going, oh, it's just, rain. Everything is fine. We're doing fine. And then I hit that wind. It was like, woo. So little bit of it, but not bad. Everything was bad. everything was fine, not bad. Susan's been watching Court TV. Ah, man, I watched Court TV when the network first started, and it cut its teeth on that OJ trial, and I watched the heck out of that. I want to say that I was pregnant with Carrie, because wasn't that early 90s? So I want to say that was when that was. Susan, you're watching the Dara Brooks case. That's the curse. I want to go back and re-watch all of those because there has been some pretty interesting stuff. I noticed something today about he put up a barricade so that they couldn't tape him, took the boxes and stacked them up. So if you started watching today or yesterday, Joan, there was no sound because he was testifying, but there was no sound. No sound and no video of Jake. So he's George's brother. Classic toxic Custer B personality. Which jury? And Lorna, what did you say, Lorna? Is that the case that Steve was talking about? This Russ Williams case? Okay, so he was in the service then. Oh, he just looks like a creep, that guy. Only one was from the base. Wow. Okay. They're in the jury. It went to the jury. Wow. Verdict watch for Darrell Brooks. Okay. There is so many going on right now, and there are different cases that have had some things happen. I noticed that Duty Ron spoke of the I'm sorry, what is it? Montgomery case? They have charged Adam Montgomery with her murder. So I'm guessing that more than likely the girlfriend has rolled over on him. Yeah, me too. And I haven't even watched it. So I did not look to see how our poll turned out, you guys. So let's see. I've been meaning to do that where I go back and look to see what the numbers are saying when I put the poll up. "86% yes and 14% no. Are you enjoying this book?" 86% yes. Well, we'll go with the positive on that one. Okay, any questions for me? Because we're at that point in the in the stream if you have any questions. He didn't have the book. Okay. Well, you just threw us all off, Freaky. Sylvia doesn't have the book either. Okay. And I had said, you guys, it's okay. Not everybody can afford to buy these books, or maybe they just don't want to, you know. But it's okay. You can follow along. I'm just glad you're here and you're participating, and that works absolutely great. Oh, he said that Kayla made a plea. Okay, I did not hear that. So Kayla is the girlfriend, and she made a plea. That's the Montgomery case. And so Adam has been charged with the murder of the Montgomery girl. I still don't know why we haven't got a charge on the Wells case either. Somebody needs to talk. Something needs to happen on that one. There's no reason why there should not be one. Yeah. She knows something. And she had to have been there. That's another thing. And then we deal with that. We deal with the fact that she had to have been there, which sucks also. And she had to have been scared, though. Had to have been scared because she did not want to talk. She did not want to say anything. So she was obviously scared of him. So that's slowing things down, you think? Slowing down with all the nonsense? Could be. I know. Well, they did take that apartment. They went back into that apartment and took it apart, Sandy. They really took that apart, and they came out with quite a bit of evidence. So that what they said was evidence. They're not telling what it was. Yeah, that would be witness intimidation. So Kayla, and wouldn't you think her father? I think her father too. Well, no, because he wouldn't be a witness. He would have to have been there to be a witness, right? But how many people you think he did intimidate? That guy, he is trouble. Killing his own daughter. I did want to show you guys a book that I had forgotten I had. And I picked it up on clearance. I want to say that this one was at Tuesday morning. It kind of looks like a Tuesday morning. I don't really know. Previously it was $16.95 and I got it for $10. But it's a really great little book. It's the 1 minute happiness journal. 365 ways to capture the joy in your life every day by Ava Olson. It's really a great book for prompts, and I thought it would be good to end on good news at the end of our live. And so let me tell you, Brene Brown says, I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. It's right in front of me if I'm paying attention. I like Brene Brown. I need to get to reading her books, but I'm trying to get them for my library, and they're always checked out. So here's On this first page, it says to write down a song lyric in fun lettering that's guaranteed to make you smile whenever you hear it. Bonus, make that song a ringtone. And then recall one act of kindness that you experienced or witnessed today. So, can you guys say an act of kindness that you experienced or witnessed today? Anything? An act of kindness? And what is one song that always makes you smile every time you hear it? I think the one that makes me smile every time I hear it is is it Locomotion? Thank you, Sandy. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Bree. Aw, the guys at the marina delivered my packages to the boat without being asked, and that was kind. That was kind. An act of kindness and a song that makes you smile every time you hear it. Mine is hang on, give me a second. I want to be sure that I tell you the exact name of the song. Oh, Footloose is good. I like that. It'll bring out your age. Walking on sunshine. Walk like an Egyptian. That's a good one. Happy. Yeah. Do, 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 do. Depends on the season. Oh, born to be alive. Born to be alive. Gosh. We were singing it. Well, the Carpenters, for one. Stuff by the Carpenters makes me smile because the girls and I used to listen to the Carpenters when they were growing up. Lorna was joking, walking the line, walking the line. That makes you smile because they're walking the line. It's okay. Don't be ashamed. We're all ready for them to walk the line. The conga. Oh my gosh. Does that make you want to get up and get in the line, Sylvia? She says she was joking. It's okay. Fly like an eagle. Oh, 9 to 5. Yes. Working 9 to 5. I'm not going to sing anymore. That's it. I know I'm hurting your ears. Yeah, Stevie Wonder stuff is good too. The Electric Slide. Well, I cannot think of the song right now. Oh gosh. Journey, Walk Like a Lady. I like that one. Do y'all know that one? Most of mine are rock. I know you think that I probably like some like laid back country stuff, but I like rock. And I'm an 80s girl. Oh gosh, Casey and the Sunshine. I know it. Yes. Yep. Sticks. Ooh, too much time on my hands is good. But the Sticks song that I like is shoot. Can't think of the title. I can't think of words tonight. Why can't I think of music titles that I like? For some reason, I can't get them out. Good stuff. Okay, you guys, I appreciate y'all for being here tonight. We are going to continue on next time around. We're going to talk about ballistic guns and ballistics next time. Okay. Oh, ladies, good. That definitely makes me smile. I'll tell you, 300 miles. Anybody know 300 miles? I would walk 300 miles. I love that one. Okay, you guys, I will see you later. I will see you on Thursday for our talk about food and Friday for updates on the Piketown massacre and more to come. You guys have a great night. I appreciate you very much. Have fun today and eat more plants. Bye, everybody.